Hello Math 1. This video is going to be on 1.j.ii or ii and it's multiplying binomials. And this video is actually going to focus on a method of multiplying these known as FOIL. Okay. Now, why do we have to know how to multiply these binomials? Well, if I take technically what we would call a binomial times a binomial, order of operations tells us when we evaluate expressions, we always do what's in parentheses first. So 3 plus 2 would be 5, times 4 plus 6 would be 10, 5 times 10 would be 50, right? So that's one way we could evaluate that expression. But hypothetically, if those terms could not be combined inside the parentheses, what could we do? Well, what mathematicians came up with is if you took and multiplied every term in this first binomial by every term in the second binomial, right? And then you add them or subtract them, you would get the same value. So when we talk about the first terms, right? When I multiply the first terms here, 3 times 4 would give me 12. Plus, if I multiply the outer terms, right? The outer terms are the two that are on the outside, which are 3 and 6. That would give me 18. Now my inner terms would be the 2 and the 4, right? Because they're both inside. That would be 8. Plus my last terms, right? My last terms would be the last term in each of these, which is 2 and 6, which would give me 12, right? Now, if I look at it, if I add this together, this gives me 30, plus 8 is 38, plus 12 would be 50, right? So this idea of FOIL, or multiplying every term in the first binomial by every term in the second binomial, does work out. So again, when we talk about the first terms, we're talking about the first terms in each binomial. These are my first terms. So A times C would be AC. Then my outer terms, the two on the outside, right? That would be my A and D is my O. So multiply those, AD. Then my inner would be BC because they're the two inner terms. Now when I talk about my last terms, right, they're referring to what's the last term in this binomial? B. What's the last term in this binomial? D. And what I'm basically doing then is combining like terms. So when we look at these examples, right, I'm going to follow that system. I'm going to multiply my first terms together, right? That's x times x is x squared, right? Then I'm going to multiply my outer terms. That'd be x times 6x, which is 6x. Then I'm going to multiply my inner terms. The 2 in the x would be plus 2x. And then I'm going to multiply the last term in this by the last term here, and that would be 12. And then if I combine like terms in the middle and simplify, that'd be x squared plus 8x plus 12. And once you get used to this, you should get pretty quick here. Again, I'm going to multiply my first terms, x times x, x squared. My outer terms, x times negative 4 is going to be minus 4x. My inner terms, 3 times x would be 3x. And then my last terms, 3 times negative 4 would be negative 12. And when I combine like terms in the middle, I would get x squared minus 1x, or x, minus 12. All right. Next one, right? Again, first terms, x times x is x squared. Outer, x times 3 is 3x. Inner, negative 6, you got to remember, negative 6 times x is minus 6x. And then negative 6 times 3, minus 18. Combine like terms in the middle, x squared, 3x minus 6x is negative 3x, so minus 3x, minus 18. All right, next one. Again, first terms, x times x, x squared. Outer x times negative 5 is now minus 5x. Inner will give me minus 2x. And then last, negative 2 times negative 5, positive 10. When I combine like terms in the middle, negative 5x minus 2x is minus 7x, and bring down the plus 10. Okay. Here's where it gets maybe a little more complicated, right? When you start adding, coefficients in front of the x. But take it piece by piece. First terms, 2x times 3x. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x, x squared. Then 2x times 5. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. And then I bring the x along. 3 times x is going to be 9x. And then when I look, 3 times 5 would give me 15. When I combine like terms in the middle and simplify my answer, 6x squared plus 19x plus 15. Okay? Once you master this, it gets real easy, right? And remember, when you're multiplying a binomial times a binomial, you should end up getting 4 terms after you distribute, right? And then simplify from there. So 5m times 8m. 5 times 8 is 40. M times m, m squared. Then 5m times negative 3 is minus 15m. 2 times 8m is plus 16m. And then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. When I go to combine like terms, 40m squared, combine the two middle terms, is going to give you plus 1m and then minus 6. Okay? And finally, right? Keep track of signs, be organized. 9a times 7a. 9 times 7 is 63. A times a is a squared. 9a times negative 4 is minus 36a. Negative 8 times 7a is minus 56a. And then negative 8 times negative 4 is plus 32. And now, 63a squared is going to give you minus 92a plus 32. Go ahead, work on the practice sheet, and let us know if you have any questions.